Hello, I'm Joe, and this is Sierra Specialty Auto. Welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to finish the machining on the Model A Ford Flywheel. We're reducing the weight from 63 pounds to somewhere around 34, 35 pounds to better suit modified Model A engines that have counterbalance crankshafts. Before we get started on that, I want to show off my first channel sticker to add to my own. I got from Stephen Lang at Shark River Machine in New Jersey. I got his channel sticker. I'll put a link to Stephen's channel in the description in case you haven't already been there. In that case, you need to go there. So let's go over to the toss lathe and get started on finishing up this flywheel. We've got the flywheel turned back around now in the chuck. I have not dialed it in at this point. I'm going to go ahead and do all of the roughing cuts. Assuming this is running fairly close by eye, I'm going to go ahead and do all the roughing cuts. Then I will dial it in and do the finish. I am wearing ear protection, and I'm going to have the volume turned down pretty low on the video editing because this is a pretty loud operation. And I have slowed the chuck down to 125 RPM. I'm going to start off trying 100 thousandths depth of cut. If that goes well, I'm going to increase that, and we'll see how fast we can get this material off of here. I don't know if I mentioned in this video, I'm cutting from the inside out to try to keep the chips flying in toward the chip guard in the back rather than thrown out at me in the room. Now we'll set up for a cut across here to reduce the outer diameter at this point. We'll change the camera setup and be back with you in a couple of minutes. Now I'm about set up for this next cut. I've touched off. I'm going to remove this material over to leave about 1/4 of an inch here on the register where the ring gear seats. I'll have to reach across the camera here to start the lathe motor. I'm after 12.5 or a little under. I've used my 12-inch dial vernier caliper, which reaches about 12 5/8 on the OD, just barely enough, and I'm within finishing cut range. So now I'm going to zero the run out, put the indicators on, and adjust it for concentric and for axial and lateral run out. On the right, we have an indicator for lateral run out. On the left, I hope you can see it, an indicator back into the pilot bushing bore for the radial or axial run out, and we're down to certainly less than a half on the radial run out, which is the most important here, and I think well, looks like about the same, certainly less than a 1,000 run out on the lateral. So this is completely adequate, far better than factory spec. So we will continue on with the finished machining here. that concludes the machining. I will clean this face in here with a Scotch-Brite on an angle grinder, angle die grinder, just to polish that up, make it pretty. We took about 15 thousandths off of this surface to get underneath the most of the hard spots. So that worked out pretty well. They came out pretty smooth. That'll work fine. Now let's see how much it weighs. I have my old UPS Palouse shipping scale here, set to 0. And we'll put this flywheel on here and see how we did. Aha, we were after 33 to 35 pounds. We're sitting right on 34. Just exactly what we were after. Now we'll set this up to drill the bolt pattern for the new pressure plate. This is my drill jig for doing the V8 pressure plate pattern. It's a 34 Ford flywheel that has been reduced to the minimum essentials. It has the bolt pattern, the three sets of 2. The original flywheel bolted on with a set of 12 cap screws in these holes, of which you can see the remains. This has a pilot on the back to register in the pilot bore, and then I line up one of these holes with the matching hole in the other flywheel. Those are index pin holes. Pull this up and put a bolt through. And drop the nut naturally. Let me go after that. All right, let's try this again. Find the bolt, get that through the correct hole. Make sure that's registered nicely. The bolt is square with the what did I grab? I've got an odd nut on that. 7/16, should be 11/16 on the nut. That's 3/4. All right, that's got that. I'm not sure how well this will show in the video, but I'll give it a try. I've got a nice sharp F drill, tap drill. I'll run that through this bolt pattern, and then I'll go back around with the 5/16 tap. Well, we'll see how this works for filming. I've got my F drill, my 5/16 course loaded up in the chuck, and we're just going to float this flywheel around on the mill table and pick up the original threaded holes in the 34 Ford flywheel and carry them right through the Model A flywheel. I think I'm going to come up a tiny bit more. All right, let's try that. We want a little speed for this. Oops. Went the wrong way. There we go. there's the 6 tap holes. The alternative to this, of course, would be to clamp the flywheel to the table, find center, and run the bolt pattern on the DRO. I've done that. But if you're doing 5 or 6 at a time, this is much faster. These are through holes now. They go all the way to the other side, so my chips are evacuating out the bottom. Now I can finish these with the tap wrench. You can see that the holes come through all the way through to the open side. Usually when I'm doing these, I take them to an auto repair shop that has a flywheel grinding machine. Get them to grind this properly for a correct friction surface. Then I mount up ring gears and take them to a balance shop and get them balanced. This time my friend for whom I'm doing this job, he's going to take care of those chores. So when I get these holes tapped, I'll supply him with some grade 5 bolts to hold the pressure plate down, and he will take the flywheel and do the rest of the job. That's how you take 29 pounds of cast iron off of a Model A flywheel and put it in your chip pan. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll comment. I hope you'll subscribe. I really hope you'll come back and visit the shop again. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.